Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? Yes, I'm live. I'm live. Talking that jive. Come on in here, y'all. Come on in here, y'all. I have a Q&A, but I posted a video before this, and I missed it, but I'm not going to play it now because I'm on my phone. We're going to do a whole live about it tomorrow, but this nigga Donald Trump is over here hustling Bibles. I kid you not. The ghetto is shit. This nigga Donald Trump is selling Bibles. That shit funny than a motherfucker. But what y'all talking about? What y'all talking about, chat room? Hell yeah, Bruce, roll this shit. What y'all talking about in the chat room? This nigga. If you didn't see it, I posted a video up before this one of something I saw on the news the other day. Donald Trump hustling Bibles and tennis shoes. Black people. You know, as black folks, we get to get real down on ourselves when we talk about how religion be fucking us over. Hell yeah, Orange Man is hilarious. We be talking about how like religion's fucking us over. And nigga, these white folks, these motherfuckers is just as fucked over by religion. Just as hustled. Who the fuck is buying a Donald Trump Bible? And I know it has a constitution. It has a constitution in it. Matter of fact, I was actually thinking about buying one just to have one. If I was gonna tell you, if I'm gonna be 100, I'm actually thinking about buying the Donald Trump Bible just to have one to see what the fuck. Just to have one. I probably would just to have one. That shit got the Declaration of Independence in it and the Constitution. But that ain't why most of these people are buying that shit. These motherfuckers is on Jesus juice too. We be thinking we the only ones on Jesus juice. Hell nah. That Jesus juice permeates the world, yo. Yeah, I might buy one, Dwayne. Why not? But what y'all talking about here in the chat? This is mostly a Q&A. I get my papers by the box. Amazon. Oh, you say you saw that shooting star video? Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, I was at the Improv last night, and Corey was there, and so was Marcus. And we was all there together when that shooting star came. That shit was crazy. Hella cool. I don't know what the fuck that was. That wasn't a shooting star. People say space debris. I can take that, but I've seen space debris before too, and that shit was moving a little different than space debris. That shit had a very weird, funny movement to it. A very weird, funny movement. That shit was weird. We was all clowning each other, then looked up and was like, what the fuck is that? And the way it went across the sky, like it turned. It's like it was going north. It was headed north, and then it turned right around sunset and it started going east. Yeah, I've talked to you. You gotta realize the hidden history comedy shows are on weekends. Corey Holcomb is on usually traveling, doing shows on weekends. I've talked to Corey about doing the show, but Corey's usually on the road making his bread on weekends. Marcus has already done the hidden history show. Marcus did it a few months ago. He did it sometime last year. I'm doing Marcus' show that Friday, though. I'm doing Marcus' show that Friday night before the Hidden History show. I'll be doing Marcus' show. And then, oh yeah, announcement. I have a new live music show. If you're in LA, I want you to come down during my live music show. I want you to come down during my live music show if you're in LA or Long Beach. It's going to be in Long Beach, April 19th. Me and Jarris Mosey, me and J-Mo. Me and Jarris Mosey. It's gonna be like it's called it's down in Long Beach. It's called Fat Fridays. Live bands. Live band. Multiple live bands. We're gonna be jamming out, rocking out. We are going to be rocking out. What y'all talking about in the chat room? I only got 25 in here. Oh shit, I forgot. 5150 still on it. I was watching 5150 earlier. I just realized that shit's still on. Yeah, if I remember 5150 was still on, I'd probably still be watching. Yeah, that'd be fun. Come on, chat room. What y'all talking about in the chat room? Most of my chat probably over there watching 5150. That's probably hell what I would be doing too if I weren't doing this. You mean the after show hangout? Oh yeah, you mean after the improv? Yeah, most of we be going to the improv. Don't even be going inside watching the show. Be outside the whole goddamn time talking shit. What's up, Troy Lee? But let's go back into Trump and this Bible thing. See, when it comes to religion, the whole Bible hustle, that was hustled on white folks before it was hustled on us. Gotta realize, Christendom, that's where you get Charlemagne the Great, the asshole that Charlemagne the God named himself after. Appreciate that, Troya. Charlemagne the Great, the European savage, he Charlemagne the Great, they used Christendom. What's up by the time? They used Christendom to galvanize and unionize Europe. Gotta realize Europeans are naturally roaming tribes. They don't really have any homes in Europe. And that's why it's crazy we even call them Europeans. The official name is Caucasians. The Caucasian race was a nomadic race that would go throughout Europe and North Africa, what we now call the Middle East, and roam around fucking things up. That's what a Caucasian is. The thing that got them, the tribes of Europe, unionized was Christendom, using Christianity because the Muslims were the Moors. That's why when Obama was in office, they were calling him a Muslim. That part went over a lot of black people's head. Why they kept calling him a Muslim. Not understanding that Muslim is a code word for black, because the Moors are Muslims. The Moors are black. And the Moors were controlling Europe for a long time. And there were some Moorish kingdoms that did right by the citizenry. And there are plenty Moorish kingdoms that didn't do right by their kingdoms. And we have to always remember that when it comes to a lot of the anger and fear Caucasians have of black people. There were a lot of Moorish kingdoms that did not do right by their citizenry. So the thing that got the roaming tribes of Europe together was Christendom, Christianity. That's what got a lot of these Europeans to come together, or Caucasians. And so, for a long time, most of them couldn't read. But as they started learning how to read and refining the Bible, they got the King James version of the Bible. And the King James version, you have Martin Luther, and what his rebellion and what he did. And so Christianity did a lot to galvanize and unionize the European, or the Caucasian, I should say. So there's a special bond that the Caucasian has with Christianity. It's a special bond. And there's still a lot of white Americans under that bond. And that's what can get them to accept a fraud like Donald Trump having a Bible. Donald Trump having a Bible is like me having a health food book. Donald Trump having a Bible is like a midget teaching you how to stand tall. Donald Trump having a Bible is like, is like Shaq talking about Get Shorty. Donald Trump and a Bible? What? Donald Trump having a Bible would be like watching Billy Porter with a bad woman You like, nigga, nigga, you don't get your gay ass out of here. What the fuck you do? What? Donald Trump with a Bible, yo? Nigga said, we're going to have Dr. Short on again. I don't know. Not sure. What's up by the time? But Donald Trump with a Bible? But these people accept it. Showing how blinding religion can be. So what I want out of this is for niggas to take this shit as a case study. Like, we always talking about what we wouldn't do, or we always talking about, you know, how we the worst ones at everything. Oh, black people, we the only ones that get caught up by religion. Religion has been used to fuck over white people way longer than they were fucking us over with it. That's the one thing that they did learn from Europeans before they learned with us. They learned how to fuck over Caucasians with the Bible long before they learned how to fuck over black Americans with the Bible. Do you know black Americans, it was against the law for black people to know the church or know the Bible in the 1600s, early 1700s. You didn't really start seeing black people get into the church because the British didn't like it. During the colonial period, the British, like, the thing that really, when you started seeing the independent black church movement, started in the late 1700s, early 1800s. We didn't get right into Christianity when we got here to the Americas, or when the Europeans came to America. Whichever version of black people you are, whether you're the ones that were here when they got here or the ones that came on the slave ship, either way it go, Christianity wasn't a part of your deal. And you can find this on the History of the Negro Church in the book by J.A. Rogers called History of the Negro Church. You start seeing black churches pop up in the 1800s. So that whole thing about black people getting Christianity from Europeans as soon as we got here, the Christianity in black America started to come about 100 to 150 years after the initial settlement of Caucasians to the Americas. You can look this up. They didn't want black people knowing Christianity because they thought that we'd use it against them. Initially, that was the fear. You know? So Trump, again, the Bible and Christianity galvanized Caucasians and brought them together. It was the first thing that brought them together. It was Christian because it made a common enemy out of the Muslims, the Moors. It made a common enemy. That's what Christianity did for them, and that's what it still continues to do for them. And your politicians, they understand this about the Caucasian. That's why the whole religious right is such a big thing. The religious right, you don't hear about them as much now, but during them Bush years, especially during them Clinton years in the 90s, oh my God, that religious right was so powerful. Much more powerful then than it is now, but it's still very powerful. They're still extremely powerful. And Trump knows how extremely powerful the religious right is. That's why he's selling Bibles. That's why he's selling Bibles. The Dixiecrats. The religion thing is really big for these people. See, one thing we got to realize, black people, is we ain't the only ones. We're never the only ones. It's just that too many black folks don't pay attention to the world outside of black America and what's going on, what's really going on in this world. Trump can sell Bibles at $60 a pop because the whole religion thing, it has America fucked up, not just black folks. So you have to realize that the religion, when Republicans use religion on white America, it's because they don't plan on giving white America anything outside of the faith psychic benefits and the psychic benefits of knowing through coded language that they'll have just slightly more than black Americans. That's all they need for that Republican vote, for that white right vote. They need the psychic benefits of Jesus, and they need to know the borders are going to be closed, and they need to know that when it comes time to pass out money, them niggas ain't getting shit. Meanwhile, Republicans are generally the most interested in open borders because most wealthy people vote Republican. And it's the wealthy that want the borders open. They want to have cheap labor. It's usually the right, more so than anything. The Democrats too, but political parties play good cop, bad cop. And so the Republicans fight against immigration knowing that the major donors of their base benefit most from immigration. Democrats fight for black people, have black politicians, use coded language like people of color, but use black people as the face of people of color, while doing everything they can to disinherit and disconnect black people from civil rights benefits, from resources, from access to jobs and good pieces of real estate. The Democrats, the last thing the Democrats want is a stable, strong black America. The Democrats are at their best when they can use black Americans for votes while handing the resources, for the most part, back to white men through legislation like the LGBTQ legislation, right? White men and white women too. Title IX. People don't understand it. Like, the reason Caitlin Clark exists, title and this women's basketball and women's hoop, is because during civil rights times, states, when they got federal civil rights funds, they had, when it came to state civil rights funds, they had the option to give it to black people or other minority programs. And so all 50 states chose other minority programs. including women, white women. And Title IX, the legislation that got women's sports funded, was directly funded by civil rights legislation. Come on, mods, where y'all at? Any of my mods up in this bitch? I don't think I got any mods up in here right now. But that's the issue with Democrats. The Democrats are least interested in black people. But they talk to black people and go to black churches and act as if they care about black people. Republicans don't give a fuck about rank and file white people. Republicans don't give a fuck about niggas that are professional white ass kissers. The Republicans have all these people that they say they represent, but those are the people that they care about least representing. Republicans don't want them white folks to come up that's voting for them. They need them in poverty. If not in poverty, they need them thinking that these Republicans need white people thinking that them making $150,000 a year while the black people make $50,000 a year, they need them enjoying those psychic benefits. Because truth of the matter is, a lot of these, whether a person's making $150,000 a year and the next person's making $50,000 a year, these corporations are making enough money to pay everybody $200,000 a year. Your white ass and they black ass. But they get away with paying you $50 or $60, $70, $80, $100,000 less than what they could pay you, because they know that you're totally satisfied with taking that bargain, because the black person is getting paid 10% of what they could be getting paid. The rank and file white person is okay with getting 25% of what they deserve, as long as they see that the black person is going to get 5% of what they deserve. And they use religions and Bibles and shit to make that be okay. So going back to Trump selling Bibles, that's why Trump is selling Bibles. Because he knows there's millions, and what does The Rock say? All of the millions and millions. It's millions of people who are down with the bullshit. And they use Christianity to sell the bullshit to the rank and file white American. That's why Trump could sell so many Bibles. Yeah, that's what it is, Caldana. Yes. That's what it is. Nobody benefits. But white Americans, Latinos, Asians, and all these other buffer groups, they benefit slightly more. They're harmed slightly less than we're harmed. That's why, like, when it comes to the people who are immigrants in this country, that's why they can stay silent. They like to play double dutch and three-car Monte with race, especially Latinos. Latinos identify as white on their driver's license. They think that they're white in their mind. Their mannerisms and behaviors are black. While when the issues of race come up, they claim native. But they only claim native when they're pressed. or when it comes to them having a moral argument, oh, well, California was Mexico. Know what I tell them? Well, Mexico wasn't a real country either because the people of this land don't speak Spanish. Mexico was just the first colony before the United States. So you can't tell me the United States colony is invalid in favor of another colony. Mexico was a colony of Spain. Just that the United States was a colony of England for a while. You're not going to tell me this colony you don't recognize this colony while you're living in this country, but you recognize the previous colony. Now, if you tell me, okay, I am Chumash and I occupy this particular piece of land, then I'd be like, hey, if you say you were a Ohlone or Mojave or any of those native California tribes, if you said you was that, and then you came saying, and you speaking your native tongue, the tongue that your ancestors spoke, not Spanish, because your ancestors didn't speak Spanish, the same way mine didn't speak English. Now you're talking. Now I'm going to listen. Because if you were Pachanga, if you were Chumash, if you were Ohlone, if you were Mojave, then you have righteous indignation to speak. But if you tell me Mexico was just as invalid of an occupation as the United States is. Like my dad always said, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. What's up, Miriam? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I still do my music show. I be doing it on Fridays, my live music, and I'm in my music history class, Chris Ramus. This week is the last week to sign up for my music history course. I'm closing the course after because I have 5 more classes. We did 3 so far. We got 5 more to go. If you want to be a part of my music history course, go to DwannBrown.com/courses. I'll be closing the list this week. You're right, Biz Marti. There's no such thing as a Latino or Chicano 531 years ago. You damn right. So you can't tell me that you don't recognize the United States, but you tell me you recognize Mexico. That doesn't work. And I got respect for Latinos, Mexicans, Asians, Africans. See, where you gonna find me a little bit different than a lot of people who speak the way I speak is I still have a genuine love for these people. I still genuinely love Africans. I still genuinely love Jamaicans and Caribbeans and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and Asians. And I still genuinely love white people. I love everybody. I do. Because when it comes to love, I don't love because I want you to do something for me or I need you to be a certain way. I understand that within all major groups, all kinds exist. Good ones, bad ones. And 80% of most groups don't give a fuck either way. 10% are really vested in love. 10% are really vested in hate. The other 80% truly don't give a fuck either way. I understand this. But I also understand at the same time when groups of people's backs are against the wall, they're generally going to choose their group. So just because I love a particular group or all groups of people doesn't stop me from understanding how groups of people behave. And behavior only matters, I don't say only matters, but it matters most when people are up against pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure determines how a person's behavior is. And when groups are under pressure, they generally choose their own group. So, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not saying this should change. It's just nature. It's what it is. It's just nature. Look how good of a shooter I am. Pow, 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 pow. I was playing. But, so with that being said, I just see groups of people for what they are. I don't want anybody to be anything other than be yourself. Because when it comes time down to it, you're going to be yourself. And too many niggas think having love for people means that they're going to have your best interest when it comes time for things. That's where I'm different. That's where I'm different. Kevin Alvarez said, when are black people going to stop complaining? We're going to stop complaining when shit is right, dumbass. See, one thing about black Americans, we're not a conquered group of people. We're in a conquered situation, but enough of us, a whole lot of us, are not cool with our conquered situation. So because we're not cool with being conquered, every group gets conquered, has ups and downs at some point. We've all been incarnated at a time that our group has been conquered. Not because nothing we've done, but because of mistakes our forefathers made. Our forefathers made mistakes 500, 600 years ago, 800 years ago, 1,000 years ago, that led to our being conquered about 400, 500, 300, 400 years ago. And it's slowly. But with that being said, our minds have not been totally conquered. That's why, Biz Marti, we're occupied. So since we understand we're occupied, no, you don't, Miriam. No, you don't have to. You don't have to untime him. You don't have to. King Alvarez, no, he's good. You ain't gotta time him out. You ain't gotta time him out. You ain't gotta time him out. King Alvarez, stay around. I don't want King Alvarez being timed out. I just can't do anything to undo it because I'm on my phone, not on my computer. If I was on my computer, I could do something. But no, I don't want him timed out. I don't want him timed out. You know, he has. I'm not mad at the question. I'm not mad. I'm glad he made the statement because it allows me to make this point that I'm making. So I'm not tripping. So going back to King Alvarez, what he was saying, yeah, we're occupied. And so yes, we're going to complain about it. And we're going to keep ringing a bell, and we're going to keep ringing a bell till enough of us wake up to do something about it. See, I don't care about white people changing. They're not going to change. Not that I don't want them to change it doesn't matter what I want from them. I just take things as they are. They're not going to change. They're not going to change. They're not going to change. And that's okay. So as long as black people keep complaining and ringing the bell, what that will do is, at some point, it'll wake up enough of us, a critical mass of us, to do something about our situation. And that's why King and X and Stokely Carmichael and were all killed off or silenced. Muhammad Ali silenced. You know, Jim Brown, rest in peace. They had to silence because they didn't want a critical mass of us waking up. So, but thank God for Bunchy Carter. Thank God for the Panthers and King and X and Medgar, Martin, Philip A. Randolph. Them continually ringing the bell through the 1900s was something that Ice Cube, nigga, Ice Cube, death certificate. That bell ringing is something I picked up on in my consciousness when Ice Cube dropped death certificate in 91. I picked it and then I kind of just stayed there. Then Dr. Claude Anderson came to my church when I was like 15 or like 97, 96. Kept ringing that bell and I still didn't quite get it. I was still trying to assimilate, you know. But because enough black people kept ringing the bell, at some point I heard it. And I'm going to keep ringing the bell on my little ass platform. And if somebody don't like me ringing the bell about race, they could suck my dick. No, Bob. I'm from the place your mama goes to get her rocks off. That's where I'm from. Where I am is where your mama go when she needs to get one off. That's all you need to know, Bob. That's right, Noah. They gave their lives for us, man, for real. What's up, Denny K? What's up, Logan? So, love is what we need. Self-love, man. Self-love is the key to all this shit. Because self-love, you won't continue to take the bullshit when you self-love. Hey, Bob, I'm rude, all right? You ask me a stupid-ass question, I'm going to give you a stupid-ass answer. I ain't got no issues with you. Let me tell you, I'm a baptism in Black American culture to a lot of people. I've taken the gloves off. Like, one part of our culture is we talk shit. And I've decided to take the route of treating people outside of our culture the same way we treat each other within our culture. And that's to give people a hard time and talk shit. It ain't never nothing personal. It's just having some fun. It's the way my grandfather treated me. I treat y'all the way my grandfather treated me, you know? Oh, and man, rest in peace to my Aunt Clara. Man. I didn't go live with y'all earlier because I was at my Aunt Clara's funeral. She was 94. Aunt Clara was born in 1931, y'all. And we are in 2024. No, so she's 93. She's 93. Man, Aunt Clara made it 93 years. Aunt Clara's been in my life my whole life, and we never talked much. She's my grandaunt. She's my grandaunt. My aunt is my Aunt Debbie. She's been my cousin Debbie. I call her, and that's my cousin Debbie's mom. I call her Aunt Clara, my grandfather's sister. They came to LA from Grace, Mississippi in 1937. And the house that she passed away in on 22nd and Central, they bought that house. They got that house back in the 1940s. That house has been in my family since the 1940s. And my grandfather said that, off Central Ave, my grandfather's house used to be off 27th. My grandfather used to have Count Basie's band used to practice sometime in my grandfather's living room when he was a child, his uncle. My grandfather's uncle was the person that my Aunt Clara moved in with. Because my grandfather and my Aunt Clara's mother, when they came to LA from Grace, Mississippi in 1937, they moved in with their uncle. Their mother's brother. And she went to Jefferson High School, just like my grandfather did. She was a beautician. And when I was a child, I used to go over my Aunt Sarah, which was her auntie. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, her auntie, her older sister. That's who she stayed with, my Aunt Sarah, which was her older sister, who passed away in 1998, who's also buried at Inglewood Cemetery. Like, most of my family's buried at Inglewood Cemetery. I'm at Inglewood Cemetery now 3 or 4 times a year. God damn. That's what happens, young niggas, when you cross 40. You have these funerals 3 or 4 times a year. So I'll be at Inglewood Cemetery 3 or 4 times a year. I'm blessed to have a family that's been in LA for almost 100 years and really never left LA. We still here. We don't move. We some LA ass people. She came to church with my Aunt Debbie. She was every Sunday, play the drums. Shit. How old was I? 14 when I started playing the drums? So Aunt Clara has been watching me play the drums in church going back to when I was 14. She loves her Dodgers. We didn't talk a whole lot. She was very quiet. We would just talk about the Dodgers. She would tell me, like, hell yeah. Like, she would tell me how much, like, she loved hearing me play the drums, how much she loved me. But we didn't really talk a whole lot. We would talk about my grandfather, talking shit. But Aunt Clara was quiet. Huge Dodger fan. And so, yeah, 93 years old. She passed away, and her funeral was today. And it's funny, too, because she died March 5th. And my grandfather's 100th birthday would have been March 6th. My grandfather died at 98 years old back in 2022. This past March 6th would have been his 100th birthday. And he died in 2022 at the age of 98. So Aunt Clara died March 5th, which would have been my 5-year anniversary. Yeah, so rest in peace. What's up, Lori Brown? What's up, Tech 9? Nah, that's not a Benny bike. That's my bike. When the summertime come, y'all gonna see me on my bike. You see? That bike ain't got no motor on it. I pedal that motherfucker. 4-inch thick tires. That's my. I gotta stay. That's my get in shape bike. I don't have an engine on it. Oh, what's up, Ebony? You say who's the funkiest person in music today? That's a good question. That's a real good question. I don't know who the funkiest person in music today is. Thundercat? But Thundercat be on this rock shit too, though. That's the thing. Thundercat is funky and motherfucker, but he be more focused on his rock shit a lot of the times, more so than funk. So I would say Thundercat. No, that's a good question. Well, no, I'm gonna tell you who's on a funkiest shit. Me and Joseph Leonberg. I laid down the live drum. I laid down some live drums on a new funk album that's gonna be coming out from Joseph Leonberg. He's a jazz trumpet artist, but he got a funk album that he just dropped. Oh my God, that shit sound funky. He hasn't dropped it yet. He's gonna drop it, and I played the drums on one of the songs. So the song that I'm on playing the drums, that's gonna be the funkiest song. That's gonna be the funkiest shit. You dig? What's up, Scotty Jenkins? Cleveland and his motherfucker. I appreciate that, Ebony. Yeah. So yeah, rest in peace to my Aunt Clara, man. She was very quiet, but she was always there. She was always supportive. She always showed love. Left my goddamn joint. So, yeah. And you say, after my Black American music course? No, I'm doing more stuff. I'm filming right now. Thank God. I appreciate. I need the brother. I don't like pronouncing people's names without really knowing how to pronounce their names. I need the brother who donated. I have a brother who just donated enough to be a producer on my next episode. I still need about 1,000 more to finish this, but I have another episode of the Black American Music Family Tree coming out. Hopefully June or July. Hopefully by the summer, we're gonna have. This is a series. We're gonna be focused on gospel music on the next episode. I'm gonna show you guys how gospel is the roots of everything else. How everything we hear now, from the beginning through now, still comes from gospel. Oh, Scotty, you a truck driver? I didn't know that. Yeah, but I don't know if you were on last night. A couple nights ago, I said I'm gonna start doing these lives again at night because I appreciate my late night audience live. You know, I get better numbers in the daytime, but this shit ain't always about numbers. Sometimes it's just about connecting with y'all and being real with y'all, answering y'all questions and talking some shit with y'all. Because when I'm upstairs on my computer, when I'm focused on a particular topic, I be focused. I don't really interact with the chat that much. So these late nights, I get to talk to y'all more. Somebody said blues before gospel, bruh. Okay, so let me make this person an example, y'all. Usually when you see me respond like an asshole, it's because someone's approaching me like an asshole. If they could just say what they say, I won't be such an asshole. But when you be like, blues before gospel, bruh. Listen here, dumbass. I ain't talking about the particular genre itself. I have it in my own fucking tree that the blues came before gospel, you fucking idiot. I'm talking about how gospel music is a place that Black Americans preserve our sound. We preserve it through gospel. The church is where children learn how to be musicians. It's where I learned how to be a musician. It's where Jarris Mosey, J-Mo, the person I'll be doing my live music show with, multi-Grammy winning artist, it's where he preserved it. It's where he taught Steve Lacy how to play the guitar. The church is where we preserve our sound. It's a place every goddamn Sunday we get to go to sing at our best, be our best musicians, be our best producers. Church preserves our sound. And although I don't play the drums in church anymore, although I don't go to church anymore, although I fucking understand how fucking stupid church is, I also understand that church is the place that our music is preserved. So no, it's not blues before gospel, man. 8-year-old kids can't go to a blues joint and pick up a guitar, but they can go to a church and do it. It wouldn't be safe for a 12-year-old girl to be in a blues joint singing, but she can sing in church. So we got to get a church's credit, regardless how I personally feel about a lot of the wrongs church does, and how I personally think that gospel music is lyrically is some of the biggest bullshit we listen to. But musically, it's everything. Whether you're talking about your best rappers come from the church. Your best actors and actresses come from the church. Your best musicians, they all, as a child, had their first performances in church. I won't say all, but I will say 95% of Black people. Whether you're a rapper, drummer, actor, comedian, if you're Black, 95% of the time your first performance was in church. So we got to give love and respect to that. Even though I don't fuck with church. Got to be mature enough to separate what you fuck with from what's real. And what's real is we owe everything musically to our church. And I'm not even talking about 400 years ago, because again, like I told you earlier, we were disconnected from church for a long time. We didn't openly become active in church again until 150 years into the European occupation of this land. But since we've been in the church has been where we've been able to pass down our music. Pass down those skills, those music skills. We couldn't afford Juilliard, but we could go to Los Angeles. We couldn't afford drum lessons, piano lessons, but we can get them lessons at Faithful Central, at First AME, or wherever church you go to. You can get the things that you couldn't afford to buy at church musically. That's a good point, Lloyd Brown. Church is big business, just not for the people. Yeah, I have my issues with church. I really do. I'm not here to say, I got my issues with church. But fact remains, all of your best and brightest, 95% of your best and brightest in music got their start in church. Hey, Toby Lynch, I loved your mama in Woman in Red. She was that hoe that Gene Wilder was fucking with in the red skirt. And she's a hoe in real life. So we have a mutual admiration, Toby Lynch. Your mama and woman in red, and that bitch in them red stockings. God damn. Your mama's a harlot, and she shitted out a little bitch like you. But I can't blame you too much if your mama was a harlot. She wasn't there to raise you. You was raised by Ophelia on Trading Places, nigga. That's who your mama was. She was Ophelia on Trading Places. Got it? So back to what we were talking about. He said your mama's tongue ring was retired by the AKAs. Yeah. So back to what we talking about. Toby Lynch is a good sport. Much love. Yeah, that was Jamie Lee Curtis. I like people who are good sports. Let me tell you, let's break something else down, man. You gotta watch out for men who are always complaining all the damn time about stuff. We all look, we human. We gonna get stuck in a rut, from time to time. And it's okay to vent and to purge. We're human. We're gonna vent and purge from time to time. Don't never hold it against a man or a woman that's gonna vent or purge. But when people complain about the same things over and over, they complain about the same people over and over. And when I say over and over, I mean drawn out through months, sometimes years. Just trust and believe that person is the problem. If for no other reason than if you're complaining about a group of people or a situation for more than 9 months or 6 months, if after 6 months you haven't figured out either a plan to do something about it or let it go, and this is for everybody listening, if it's something that's been a few months or sometimes year, 2 years, and you still complaining about the same people, the same situation, and every time it's your turn to talk, you bringing this shit up, you the problem. Straight up. Like, man, let shit go. Don't be that one complaining about the same people over and over and over and over. Because worst case scenario, you should have figured something out by now. Even if that something is, you know what? The situation happened. I don't like it, but I'm moving on. My moon sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius. I'm going to do a reading show with you guys tomorrow, probably. Tomorrow, we're going to read the last quarter of this year. From tomorrow through July 4th. We're going to read the fortunes of the United States. What's the United States going to be looking like from now through July 4th? We're going to do a reading on that. Can I get a shout out? Yes, Big Bunny Ranch, you can get a shout out. Yeah, just flow. Just flow with shit, man. Flow. And you can't judge the next person for what the fuck they going through if it's different than you. Like, shit gonna look different on different people, you know? The only thing you can do is run your race. That's it. You got people looking at other folks. Let me go back inside. You got people looking at other folks like, you know, just looking at other folks and trying to judge them for what they do and how they get down. And you can only do you, man. You can't do other people. You can't do other people. And you can't be always in other people's dramas. You know, some people are just dramatic. People are charging to do shout outs. I be seeing people on YouTube that charge to do shout outs. And I'm not necessarily saying I won't do that at some point, but that ain't how I'm feeling right now. It ain't that serious right now. I'm good. Somebody said free P. Diddy. P. Diddy is free. He ain't in jail. If P. Diddy wanted to throw a party tomorrow, he can throw it. He's free. He said, what do you think about April 8th solar eclipse? Yes, Dwayne, I will. Danae, I said Dwayne. Danae, yes, I will talk about the solar eclipse in my reading and what that means in the last quarter of the year, and what that means moving forward for the rest of the calendar year. I'm gonna need you. We're gonna talk about that. Somebody said you need me to respect Diddy's name. Why would I respect somebody who, when he had the power, he abused it on other black people? As a black person, why? What respect do we owe to Diddy? I understand Diddy was a black mogul, made a lot of money, but look at how he treated other black people. Why should I respect that? He was put on and given power by white people. Clive Davis gave him power, and he used that power to shit on other black people. He didn't shit on J-Lo like that. The Latina chick made her money and bounced. The black people struggled. So what respect do I owe to him? Oh, we got somebody from Gaza. What's up? Be safe, motherfucker. If you over here listening to me from Gaza, respect. Respect to everybody. Be safe, nigga. Be safe. All that war shit, I ain't with none of that war shit, but I ain't gonna speak on it either because you see how this country be treating motherfuckers to speak on that war situation. I understand the United States is a police state. I am not under any illusion that this is a free nation. No, it's the fuck is not. The United States is free as long as you saying what the fuck they want you to say, goddammit. And they allow niggas like me to talk a little bit of shit. But I can only say so much. I know where the fuck I live, goddammit. Nigga say he might know Larry. But yeah, the solar eclipse, I'm telling y'all right now, solar eclipse next Monday. Oh, that means the eclipse is the night of the national championship. Ooh. You know these sports games, national championship, Super Bowl, football, they're all allegories. They're all played out scenarios for spiritual messages. The Super Bowl being the biggest one. And this ain't nothing I thought about. This shit just came into my head right when y'all heard me say, "Ooh." I'm freestyling, y'all. This ain't nothing I thought about. This is all fresh download that I'm getting right now. I'm gonna have to, who's ever on Saturday. Saturday is when we find out who's gonna be in the national championship game. Because the Final Four games are gonna be played on Saturday. So what I'm gonna have to do is get the card of each team. And I'll find the card of each team through the founding date of those universities. And we're going to get some symbolic messaging through who wins that game, whoever it is, next Monday. I don't know who it's going to be. 8 teams left. Well, it's 4 teams left. But that'll be next week's reading. But this week's reading, yeah, I'm going to just read the final quarter of the year for the United States. And I'm going to read this eclipse. Because this eclipse next Monday is also a King of Diamonds day. King of Diamonds, that lets me know already that we're dealing with financial, money, business. We're also dealing with sex and sexuality. And these are all things that the King of Diamonds represents. That eclipse is happening on a King of Diamonds day. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to go back to that last eclipse and see what card that was. Hey, chat room, Miriam, somebody, can y'all help me out? What was the date of the last eclipse? The one in 2017. The one that this eclipse is going to cross with. What was the date of the 2017 eclipse? Chat room, help me out, please. Give me the date of that eclipse. I'm on my phone, so I can't look it up. Give me the date of that eclipse, and then go to my website, breakthroughcards.com, and tell me what card that is. Help me out, chat room. What's up, Jeff? He said, no, the Anunnaki's come this time. Man, the Anunnaki never left. How about that? They've always been around here. August 21st, 2017. So that was, give me the card of that day. It's not a heart. It's probably a club day. It's a club. August 21st sounds like a club day. Which club was August 21st? Go to my website, breakthroughcards.com. I might read Dr. Umar Sylvester, Sammy Sinister. Y'all said that before. I might read him. We'll see. What was the card of that day, August 21st? I know it was a club. What's up, Rob Trimble? Chat room, help me out. Lori, give me the card of that day. That sounds like a 3 or 4 clubs. What was the card of that day? Cause I'm trying to connect something. Because I'm trying to see. But with this upcoming eclipse being on a King of Diamonds day, that tells me that there's going to be a shift in business. 5 of clubs, okay. 5 of clubs is the card of depression, the card of anxiety, the card of swift changes. And so it's crazy that was a 5 of clubs day, 2017, and that's the card of depression. And then what happened 3 years later was the coronavirus. Hell yeah, Jeff. Card reading has most definitely helped me dodge a bullet. I read a situation between me and somebody. There's somebody offline for you niggas out there who be trying to draw connections and shit. You'll never know who this person is because they have absolutely no internet presence. But I read the cards between me and this particular person. And the result card, when I asked a question about what is it with me and this person, if there's something that we was hella cool, everything was right, but it was like, okay, something ain't right. I pulled the cards on it, and boom, 7 of spades came out. And the 7 of spades means somebody's going to try to steal from you financially. So I saw the dynamic between me and this person was a 7 of spades. I knew I had absolutely no intentions of theft. On the high side, that's a spiritual connection, a connection that, and me and this particular commercial had absolutely nothing to do with spirit. And the fact that I had to ask, because I don't just go to cards, I don't read cards on everybody. Like being a card reader, I don't just read cards. I don't just be like, hey, Jimmy Smith, let me read this card. I don't do that. My spirit got to tell me to read the cards between me and somebody else. That's the only time I read cards between me and somebody else. There's something going on that I can't, and my spirits are like, pull a card up. That's the only time I read the dynamic between me and somebody else, for better or for worse. There have been times my spirit told me to read the card between me and somebody else, and I saw exactly why we work so well together. I saw that 2 of spades come out between me and this particular individual. I was like, that's why we work together so famously. We got a 2 of spades connection, the card of business partnerships. But I had a 7 of spades relationship with this particular person. And I mean, I had a 7 of spades final result card. Final result is a very complicated card read that I will not bore you guys with the details. Well, when I do relationship readings, I can read relationships on multiple levels. The point of attraction, what brought you two together, what made you guys like even want to be around each other in the first place. The second card I read is the point of contention. The point of contention is where you and that particular individual is going to have problems and where your problems are going to lie. And then the third level I read is the point of resolution, how to resolve said conflict. Because I never do anything just on problems. Anything I present, anything that I talk about, any issue that's going to come up, we're going to bring solutions to. I don't just read cards to talk about the problems. That's fuck shit. We talk about solutions too. So then I read the point of resolution card. And then I read the fourth card I read between you and that person is the ultimate benefit card. What's the benefit? How do you two benefit off of each other? What does this whole dance between you and that particular person benefit from? And then the final card I read between the fifth level is the final result card. Okay, where is this relationship going to take you? And mind you, in between each read, in between each level, I read each because the point of attraction card also gives me a point of view card. Your point of view and that person's point of view. The point of contention card shows me where you fucking up and where that person's fucking up. The result, the card where I read the solution card shows where you can get it right and where they can get it right. So all my card readings are balanced. It shows where the issues lie and on what level the issues are and how to fix said issues. But based on the trend of where your dynamic is going, I can read, is it more a high side thing? High side meaning, are the two people that I'm talking about here interested in fixing the situation? Then I can read the high side of the final result card. But if I read one person is interested and the other person isn't interested, that means the low side of that card is going to manifestation. Yes, I have read people of cheating and both of them sat there. Matter of fact, I made a mistake on one of my lives I did here about a year ago. I was reading somebody's live and someone asked me to do a relationship on a live reading between them and somebody else. I was like, oh, you cheating? And they was like, hey, no. My bad. But to finish off what I was saying, the final result between me and this particular person when I read our card dynamic was a 7 of spades. And that final result told me that this particular person, the fracture in our relationship was going to be in them trying to short me on money. And boy, did it play out that way. But I saw it 2 years before it happened. And again, this ain't got nothing to do with nobody online. This is an offline person. Y'all no one online would ever know. Not even my comedian people would know this person. And I've known this person from my old day job days. But we were going to do some business together. But it showed me 2 years before the bullshit happened. Oh, this person going to try to steal from you. So what it allowed me to do is allow me to change my position and change my dynamic. And that's what card reading does. It just tells you what it is so you can reposition yourself. So I repositioned myself. So 2 years later, when that person tried to pull it, I was long got a firing range. And so when they pulled it, they missed. See, I'm the king. I'm the king of clubs. You about to hear me brag a little bit here. My card is the king of clubs. I'm the king. You only got one shot at the king. One shot. If you shoot that motherfucker, you better make it. That motherfucker shot his shot. But I knew that shot was coming 2 years before they shot that shot. So I was already long out the way, and I had built my own thing that when they shot that shot, not only could I successfully leave that particular situation, my next situation was already built. Because I knew 2 years ago they was going to shoot that shot. So during the 2 years I was waiting on them to shoot that shot, I was building my shit. That's how the cards work. I was ready for that shot 2 years before they shot it. So when they shot it, all I had to do was pick up and move. Because I had already built my shit. Because I knew the shot was coming. But again, going back to spirit, the only reason why I read that cards between me and that particular person was because the spirit told me to read the cards between that person. I don't just read cards or for my friends. If me and you are cool, I'm not gonna just be like, "What's your birthday?" Then I'm not gonna do all that. I'm not gonna go through all that reading our dynamic. That's a lot of work too. When I read friendship dynamics and relationship dynamics, it's a lot of layers to that. It's a lot of work. I don't just do that shit for fun, for no reason. Like, no, if you cool with me, I'm cool with you. But if you give me reason, my spirit is gonna tell me to put up them cards. When I pull that card up, the card is gonna tell me which angle you coming from. And war strategy is all about angles. You can only get me if you got the angle on me. But trust and believe. If you're the kind of person that's trying to angle DwannBrown, my spirit gonna be like, hey, check that nigga out. I'm gonna check you out, get your birthday. And if I can't find your birthday, I'll just read your name. We all know your name and how you spell it. And if you have a fake name, if you go by some moniker, if you go by, Shaka Zulu Warrior Prince, I'm gonna spell out Shaka Zulu Warrior Prince. I'm gonna find the name, the card to that name, and I'm gonna read that card. And it's gonna tell me where you gonna fuck up. Hell yeah, G, card readings can prepare you to advance. All the time. Business readings, relationship readings, all different angles. That's what the cards do. That's what I use them for. But if you're not on no fuck shit, I can promise you this. The cards ain't gonna tell me to read you. Or if you're somebody that I'll get two read. I'll tell you back, it's not just fuck shit. I've been told by the spirit to read people who on some positive shit too. Because it'll be like, just read that person. Then I'll read them. I'll be like, oh, this person is a beacon of good. I can collaborate with this person and do something way bigger. But then there are other people who I collaborate with. There are people I'm collaborating with right now who I've actually done readings for that I've never read our card dynamic together because my spirit hasn't told me to. They've done right by me so far. I do right by them. I haven't even read their dynamic yet. Because when I read heart cards, it's not a head thing, it's a heart thing. It's a spirit thing. How do I get in the card reading? My wife told me that she had an uncle, a granduncle, one of her dad's brothers, an uncle, a granduncle, one of her dad's uncles that knew how to read playing cards going back to the 1800s. And he lived until like the 1960s. But he lived until like his 80s or 90s. He was born in the 1800s and lived like the 1960s to that around time. And my wife told me that he used to read playing cards. I was like, what? You can read playing cards? What the fuck? So I started looking it up. Taught myself. And then back in 2020 during the pandemic, I took an official like year-long course to make sure. But as I took the course, it was just basically reaffirming what I learned on my own. But I needed that. That's right, Lord. Readings are not just for negative. Readings just help you with positioning. I have people that do readings all the time where they come, they'll have me read them and a family member. And then they'll see that family member has been trying to put them in positions to where they sign over auntie's house, you know? Let your spirit tell you. You say you're a jack of clubs, how do I stop lying? Yeah, you jack of clubs is some lying motherfuckers. You gotta have integrity. Tell the truth. Use your jack of clubs energy to speak to the high side in a positive way and results. Don't just lie. If you're gonna lie, exaggerate the how how beautiful people feel, you know, when you have something good to say to them. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. I'm tired. I'm about to finish smoking this blunt. Whatever. I gotta have like another half a blunt. I have like another half a blunt upstairs. So yeah, I'm about to smoke the other half a blunt and listen to some Miles Davis. What's up, Dahlia? But yeah, that's what it is when it comes to cards. Oh shit. Use the cards to help you map out scenarios and map things out, but I don't use cards for devious means, or I don't use them to manipulate. You can, but that's corny as fuck. I have a spiritual oath, man. I have a spiritual oath. And that's that I use my spiritual nature, my spiritual abilities to the highest of good, the highest nature. But sometimes the highest good is me fucking you up if you fuck with me. That's what a lot of people don't understand about people like me that read cards and spiritual people like me. First rule of nature is self-preservation. You gotta understand that all these spiritual practices that I use them to protect me first. And in protection of me, I have no bounds when it comes to people who fuck with my peace. Don't fuck with my peace. You gotta find balance for the good. My favorite Miles Davis song is probably Summertime. I don't have a favorite Miles Davis song, but if I was gonna say one, it's probably Summertime. Hell yeah, integrity is everything. But the car is timing as above, so below. But I'm about to get up out of here because I'm tired. I'm gonna do a reading tomorrow. We're gonna read the United States. I'll be live with y'all probably in about 12 hours from now. Or sometime around there. Oh, shit. Come on down to the Hidden History Museum Comedy Show, April 13th. Me and Marcus is it. Marcus 50 on 50. I'm on a show with Marcus. His show in Bellflower, April 12th. And then also, April 19th, me and J-Mo, I'm back with the live music. Me and J-Mo, Jairus Mosley have a live music night. Dahlia, Long Beach, April 19th is my live music night with me and Jairus Mosley. We're going to have a few bands for y'all that night, some liquor. It's going to be 420 friendly on the outside patio. All right? somebody get up out of here. So I need y'all before I get up out of here. You know what I say? There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Rest in peace, Aunt Clara. Much love to the rest of y'all. I'm out.